What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gaming Without Parole. My name's Brian Paul, and sitting to my right, your left, is the ever-illustrious Mike Zeller.
Yep.
What's happening, Mike?
Not much.
How's that crick in your neck?
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's compare.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let's compare injuries. We can talk. My leg's been a little sore with the humidity, you know? I might have to get some linseed oil.
And to my left, your right, is Tony. Say your last name for me.
Waldman!
Making his first appearance on Gaming Without Parole. Tony, what the fuck are you doing here?
I don't know. I'm very nervous right now. That's why I'm not looking into the camera or into anyone's eyes. And I'm holding this Pokemon and caressing him. But my nerves are calming down now and everything's getting better, so I don't need the Pokemon.
I'll hold the Totoro.
Alright, Totoro.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He could be a Pokemon. He'd fit right in.
I'm doing
wouldn't
okay. I feel better.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I was a little nervous at first.
You want to keep him or put him over here?
You can put him over there.
Okay, if you need him, let me know.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
throw
pass him
throw
back.
him
We'll
out.
have a chain.
Very important.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, those levels are amazing.
Yeah. Spike through the fucking roof.
Sorry if anybody got their ears hurt on that one, but we honestly don't care.
Yeah, not really. Nobody listens anyways.
No. Well, I mean, maybe they're starting to listen.
Yeah, and they might now.
Yeah.
They might now.
Yeah.
Get some cross
Now
promotion.
that we've woken them up.
Yeah.
Do you have any diehard, listeners?
There's
Is
guys.
there any fan who's listened or watched this every time?
There has.
I think Joby's the only one.
Yeah.
Joby's the only one?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's very
Yeah.
loyal.
And he only watches it because he watches it live.
Yeah.
So it's just a memory, really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he doesn't count as one of the views on YouTube. He just
Right,
watches
right.
it live
Right.
because he has to be here.
Yeah.
Joby's operating the camera again for us this week. Thank you, as always.
Joey's never been...
Oh yeah, no, he's
has
been.
been,
He's been,
yeah,
he's been in a
absolutely.
few
Okay,
episodes.
okay.
He is.
He's been a star, I guess.
A star was the right word.
star, right,
Absolutely,
star.
he's a Pokemon and fantasy life aficionado.
Oh, okay. So you probably got really mad at me when I called that Pokemon. A little angry?
It's not
This
right.
is the wrong guest.
Yeah.
Wrong guest.
It's all good. Tony, why don't you tell the people at home what you're doing here? Who are you? What do you do? Why do you belong on this podcast?
Okay. Well, Mike and I went to college together, and that's sort of what brought me here.
Bonded over video
yep.
games.
And when I was a wee lad, like probably all of us, I started playing video games. You know, the regular Nintendo was part of many children's households, and I started playing games. I got the Nintendo that came with the Super Mario. It was that sort of package.
Yeah.
And the first non-Mario game that I had was called Sky Shark. I don't know. Do you
remember Sky Shark.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
My dad just a few years ago, my dad either gave away or sold all my Nintendo plus all the games without asking me.
Oh my god!
And I was very upset. I was like, Dad, you need to ask me. And so I think he bought me something to make up for it. He felt bad. I'm good at twisting his arm. And what was that? Yeah. So I'm staying. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Was this a big collection?
It was I'm looking at
Not-
your
yeah,
walls and stuff.
not compared to that.
Relatively, no. It was probably maybe 50 Nintendo
That's
games.
pretty substantial,
Right, substantial.
Especially, those were yours from childhood? Were you the only
Right.
owner?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really special. That's
Yeah.
an intimate thing that you had to part with.
So parents, ask your children if they want to keep things, nostalgic things from the
don't.
past.
Yeah,
Don't,
because that's how Brian gets them.
That's how we accumulate things for cheaper. Because eBay is expensive. Stealing from children is not so much.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So I've been staying at Mike and I have been having our college reunion.
Yeah.
And last night was the second night I stayed, and this morning I woke up and I saw the Sky Shark Nintendo game with the original cover and everything, and just a blast of nostalgia surged through me, and I was like, "Can I buy this for you for $1 million?" And he's like, "No, I'll just give it to you for free." So I was like, "Thanks, man." So.
All right, rekindling the love.
Right. And, all right, so anyway, so I grew up with, the Nintendo, and later on in life I became very interested in video game music.
Okay.
And so, but I think when you're a little kid, you don't really sort of recognize game music. You don't really get into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, but I think later on in life, you know, I kind of came back to games, and I was like, wow, these melodies are amazing. Like, I don't enjoy these melodies just because they're nostalgic and part of my childhood, but because these are actually like wonderful melodies. This is very good music.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have any that stand out to you above and beyond the rest?
I mean, my favorite video game music composer is probably Nobuo Uematsu of the Final Fantasy series. So probably like Final Fantasy 3 in the US or 6 in Japan. That was probably like maybe the world map music like
I know you want me. I know you want me to sing along.
Joby?
Yeah. I think you and I.
Give me the Pokemon. Okay. No one sang with me.
All is well.
This is great.
One of
It's okay.
Should I put a spoon in his mouth?
It's all right.
No, you're actually not supposed to do that. You can hurt
okay.
people that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna get a spoon.
Yeah.
Worst guest ever.
No, you're off to a great start.
Really?
Well, loving it.
You've always had a huge affinity for progressive rock music, and Nobuo Uematsu especially has been heavily influenced by prog rock.
Right.
He
Yeah.
talks
Well,
about
a lot of the game composers, Japanese game composers of the '80s, were influenced by heavy metal and progressive rock.
Yeah.
In the '70s, so you hear a lot of that sort of like that influence in the games, and I'm a big progressive rock fan, so sort of so let's see.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah,
I wanted to sing along with you.
I did.
What
held you back?
Well, and
Shame.
No,
Shame.
no. As I have some very serious inadequacies when it comes to being a gamer. Some of those inadequacies are some games that I've never played that I even own. Final Fantasy VI being one of those. I was telling Joby earlier
You don't
that
own Final Fantasy VI.
no, I own.
Oh, okay.
I own it, but I haven't played it, which is what's the point of having it, right? But also like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, like some really quintessential
Chrono
games.
Trigger.
No, I've played and beat Chrono
Oh, you
Trigger.
did?
I was in Tennessee, and I was very drunk the entire time. And my friend Shannon Williams, hope you're watching, she was like, I'm going to help you through this game, and I was like, all right. And we drank for like 2 days straight, and we played the game. And we beat it, and I don't remember fucking anything about it.
I'm picturing you just like being blackout drunk on the floor, and she comes in and is like, Brian, you have a serious problem. You haven't finished Chrono Trigger yet.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to get through this because I'm your friend. And he's like,
yeah, we were definitely big enablers for each other. Chrono Trigger, we went through. I watched her play Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I still don't know how to get through that game. So I've played a lot of crazy games in my life, and I've beaten a lot of crazy games. But there are some absolutely essential games that, like Final Fantasy VI, that I've spent like 30 seconds with. It's on the list. It's on the list. It'll be happening soon.
Cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to sing. I apologize.
That's okay. I forgive you.
I will work
For now.
The next time you are here, I will have played and beaten that game.
Awesome.
And the podcast can just be us like acapellaing the whole soundtrack.
Yes, let's do it.
For now, I'll just do percussion because I can't play along. Okay.
So I guess now I'm an early teenager, and I'm playing more video games, getting into RPGs, and getting into progressive rock, and forming. So then I started forming a band with my friends back then, and that band basically the band started when we were 13, and it's basically existed. It still exists today. It's the lineups have changed, but I've come back to the band, and we were so obsessed with video game music stuff that we did a medley of Final Fantasy music. We played it at our friend's bar mitzvah. We played it, outside at our high school, and
what's the band's name?
Oh, right. Well, the band started off. The band has gone through many different names.
Okay.
The first name was Language of the Mad, which is named after a Metallica lyric, Language of the Mad, and then it went to Ashes of Eden, Ashes of Eden, but then we realized that that was a William Shatner book. And
Oh.
we didn't want to have any problems.
Yeah,
with
you don't
William
want to
Shatner.
fuck with that guy.
Yeah,
He'll
so we
kill
changed
you.
it to Echoes of Eden. So it went from kind of metal, Ashes of Eden, to Echoes of Eden, which is a little bit more like progressive.
Yeah.
And
So you had to change the whole style of the band to accommodate for the name.
maybe like that happened subconsciously, but we didn't, like, not consciously.
So you can't do spoken word William Shatner pieces anymore. You have to,
Right.
yeah. So you have to do progressive rock.
Right.
What commercial was he on? That wasn't Travelocity, was it?
Oh, shit.
I just
I think it was some.
derail the
Yeah, I think it
podcast.
was some credit card commercial or
Yeah?
something. Yeah,
I thought it was a travel thing.
maybe
I don't remember.
doesn't matter.
So the band, basically continued until high school, and we went to college. And my friend, basically the main leader of the band, continued the band throughout college, and it still exists today. But when I was a freshman in college, I knew that I wanted to live abroad, and especially I wanted to live in Japan. So at freshman year of college, I decided I want to live in Japan. And I want to maybe become a video game music composer, which still hasn't happened.
Well, you have written stuff though.
Dreams
like-
come true. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since I was 13 years old, I've actually had that dream since I was 13, and I've written some things, and I have like sort of a demo reel. And a lot of the music that I've written for, and the band now that has gone from Language of the Mad to Ashes of Eden to Echoes of Eden is now called Eden Song. And a lot of the music that I've written for Eden Song is very like RPG inspired, or Castlevania inspired. There's moments where you can be, that sounds like Nobuo Uematsu, or that sounds like a Castlevania piece or something like that. So anyway, so my senior year of college. I'm going on a lot longer than I thought I would.
It's all right, man. You go
let
off
it all
set.
out.
It's just like
Let the healing start.
Yeah, you're right.
And I didn't prepare for today's podcast, so you might
didn't?
you might as
This
well
was
just
Yeah.
take control. And I'm just gonna snuggle up.
Yeah.
So yeah. So senior year of college, a lot of my friends, you were busy doing. Everyone was doing like kind of cool stuff, and I was like, I want to do something cool.
Yeah.
So there's a fellowship it's called the Watson Fellowship, and it's a fellowship for people who want to do very bizarre projects. So it's not like a Fulbright fellowship where someone's doing something like that sounds like very like
Of the ring?
what
Of the ring?
of the rain. What does that mean?
Ring?
Of the
What does that mean?
Fellowship of the ring.
the ring. Oh,
Yeah.
the ring. No. Well, yeah.
We're gonna have to start giving you a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it better that you just hear this like kind of muffled voice from off camera.
So, yeah, the Watson Fellowship projects are usually, I don't know, rapping clowns in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
They're kind of a prestigious. It's a prestigious fellowship, but they like to take on, some kind of quirky, like sort of bizarre projects. And so I came up with this project called Video Game. Oh, wait, no. It was called Mario's Legacy Video Game Music Culture, or something like that. And so I wanted to kind of explore video game music culture in Japan, and how, in Japan, it wasn't viewed as just like a thing for children. Since like maybe 1987, they've been having orchestral concerts in Japan, and it's not just kids going. There's Japanese businessmen in suits going, and
Sure.
But at that time in the U.S., not only video game music, but video games were seen as something for children. And video games music were just kind of like bleeps and bloops, and just nothing like highbrow or anything like that, right?
Right.
But I think even in Japan, it was probably still part of the pop realm. But anyway, and I was also given. So I was telling a lot of people in the industry about this project. Do you know a thing called Video Games Live?
Oh yeah.
Video Games Live. So
Yeah.
at that time, I was talking to the CEO of that, Tommy Tallarico. He was like a big video game guy. He was Video Games Live. It's like one of the biggest live video game concerts in the world. Actually,
Yeah, he's the guy that did the music for like Earthworm Jim.
Maybe he did Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
He also did maybe Cool Spot too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Tommy. And another interesting fact about Tommy Tallarico is he's the cousin of who's the lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler. So Steven Tyler's actual last name is Tallarico. Steven Tallarico.
I don't know why he would change that.
I don't know. Yeah, Tallarico is like
right.
But
Steven Tallarico.
Anyway, I was talking to a lot of people in the industry at that time, and also at that time they were having the first video game music concert outside of Japan. So I was invited to that, and I was nominated by my like a panel of professors at College of the Holy Cross to get this fellowship. But then I had to go through like a whole interview process with the fellowship, and I didn't get it actually, which was very sad.
Sorry.
But it was great.
Yeah.
Watson sold typewriters to the Nazis, so
They did really.
yeah. The guy that founded the Watson Fellowship was kind of a Nazi sympathizer.
I should have did like a Nazi themed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Typewriters that Nazis use today.
Yeah.
You know, something, I don't know. But it was funny, like being on that because I was when I was like trying to pitch.
I'm just picturing a keyboard with instead of like a period, it's a swastika.
yeah.
Like, can you tell that these were Nazi keyboards? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
But it was very interesting, like because I had to pitch my project, video game music culture, studying that to like a panel of like 10 Holy Cross professors. And, I'm just like, hey, check this Ninja Gaiden 2 Ninja Gaiden 2 song out. But I came in very charismatic, and they loved it for some reason. I was showing some of the orchestral stuff that Nobuo Uematsu has done, or whatever. Are you going to focus down here?
Yeah. Zoom in.
Because this is going to turn into a porno, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the lighting's for.
All right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it makes everyone look a little
one of
fat,
us. Yeah,
so.
One of us is going to be very disappointed about that.
When you do the lights, we'll be ready.
Which I'm curious as to which one of us.
Yeah.
This doesn't work for any of us.
So anyway, I didn't get it. I didn't get the fellowship, and my backup plan was to teach English over there because that's like one of the only ways to go over there and make a living.
Right.
And so I ended up being in Japan for 4 years.
Did you already know Japanese?
I took 2 years of Japanese at Clark, so I had some foundation.
Which you used to skip.
I used to skip all. Yeah.
All right. But you had a foundation, but it's not like you could just have a conversation with anybody on the street.
Not like beyond like very everyday stuff.
Yeah.
But when I got to Japan, I learned a lot of Japanese, and I found myself in a lot of situations where I was at bars, and I'd be the only non-Japanese person there, and that was a good way to like sort of.
You didn't even know Japanese to know how to say sake.
Right, exactly. And I'm glad you say that the right way, because you don't say sake. A lot of Americans say like sake and karaoke,
right?
But it's sake and karaoke. Karaoke, very good. Oh yeah, you watch enough anime. You watch enough. Yeah. But anyway, I didn't achieve my dream of being the composer of Final Fantasy 25 because that game hasn't come out yet.
Right, and
so it's still possible.
Yeah.
And after 4 years, came back to New York, and I got my master's in teaching ESL because I was teaching ESL, English as a second language, in Japan. I never really pursued hardcore the video game music career. I don't know why. I have a lot of different passions and stuff. And then what did I do? I got into the. So then when I came back, I joined Eden Song again, and we're coming out with an album this year that's very very
show the cover art right here.
Very video game, very video game music inspired, and I don't know. I'm into in Japan. I got into a manga and animation called One Piece, and I'm currently running one of the biggest and definitely the most active One Piece Facebook group. And I'm also making weird videos called Wackograms. I just showed you some off camera.
Really funny.
Very wild, and
We'll try to provide a link
yes.
out here.
And I don't know. I'm happy. I'm loving life. I'm living in the moment. We are right here in this room. Give me that doll! Because I don't like living in the moment.
It got too real. Get too real for
I
time.
need to take off my pants.
Yeah.
Get the spoon.
It's fine. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. I've grown up. I'm 30. I'm almost 32. I got to grow up. I can't whip it out anymore. It's just not right. Anyway, whatever.
We don't endorse growing up here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Yeah. We do endorse keeping your pants on.
Right.
Right. Because I don't know how to edit penises out of podcasts yet.
We can't,
when I
we
learn,
can't lose this much footage.
Right.
Right. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah. I guess I'll just stop there if I think of anything else that's relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you've had a really interesting life.
The life, yes.
It's too bad it's almost over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Podcast end.
Yeah, yeah.
I pull out a samurai.
Yeah.
I probably said samurai wrong. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is help me out? I'm not cultured. What is the Tea Club? It is your T-shirt.
The Tea Club is it's a progressive rock band.
Okay, I could
it's
have
not a
guessed.
party, right?
Right. No, it's not the Tea Party. No.
No.
Do you think the Tea Party would have a creepy looking guy like this? Maybe
That would be a more
Most of the
accurate
members, I think.
representation.
This
yeah.
is the head of the Tea Party.
Yeah.
in the shadows.
Yeah. he's-
Right.
Come join our club.
Yes, world domination.
Awesome.
We will teach you
They're
the dark
they're
magics.
good friends of mine. The Tea Party. They're a progressive rock band. Eden Song, one of my current bands. We'd like to. We would like to do some maybe touring with them at some point, and yeah, I like this shirt. Nice and simple and weird. Oh, and also I guess I can talk about some of my other bands very very briefly.
No, let's talk about it.
I'm in another band called so Eden Song is like orchestral progressive rock music.
No lyrics, no vocals.
No, yeah, they-
plenty of
yeah.
lyrics and
Okay.
vocals and concept albums and things like that.
Nice.
And
You got some videos up too, right? So-
Yeah, I got all sorts of stuff. And then
yeah.
And then there's Newbeard. There's a band called Newbeard. They're kind of Newbeard.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
Oh, right on. As opposed to Old Beard, which would
Yeah.
be down here.
Yeah.
right. I guess it's kind of a metaphor. The simple. I don't know the deep meaning of it, but the simple meaning is it's like when you grow out a new beard, you're sort of starting anew.
Sure.
And new beard is kind of like I don't know. Yeah, thank you.
Prevention is better. than
Yeah,
cure.
exactly,
Thank
yeah.
you.
It's almost like Beatles meets
Whoa, I like it already.
Yeah.
Beatles meets
Oasis.
Chili Peppers meets Raffi.
Whoa.
So it's like kind of like Raffi for adults.
Okay.
And instead of a bass player, we have a tuba player
with just
Tuba Joe. So he's
Tons
pretty
of
cool.
Tuba
profanity.
Joe.
Yeah,
I love his name.
yeah, he's
It's
awesome.
It's like he was destined to become a tuba player.
Yeah, and he looks like kind of like a Thor tuba player. Like,
when he's a little kid, he's
is
like, "But
you
Mom,
sort
I
of
want
like
to
a
play
James
the
Hetfield.
violin."
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now.
And just a badass, all around badass. And then the final band, I mean, I just joined this band recently. This kind of just fell into my lap.
This is
I guess in
great.
1968 or 1969, there was a band called The Left Bank.
Okay.
They had a few hits. One of the hits was called "Walk Away, Renee." I'll sing it right now. Just walk away, Renee.
Oh, now we gotta pay for
You
it.
won't see me follow you back home.
I mean, it sounds familiar,
Yeah,
but
the Four Tops covered it.
Yeah,
that's
it
why.
They also
comes
had,
up on a lot of those compilations of like greatest hits of
Yeah.
the '60s.
in Rolling Stone magazine's top
Monster Ballad.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
number 220 top song in Rolling Stone magazine. Another hit with theirs was called "Pretty Ballerina." Alice Cooper covered it. So I'm currently drumming in their new lineup, and we're actually going to be playing in Natick,
Wow.
July 25th at the Natick Center for the Arts.
It's the day after my birthday.
So you come out, maybe
Yeah.
I'll get you a ticket.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you and me.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bring a spoon.
yeah, yeah.
And so I'm doing that.
The concert's 4 hours because they have to
How-
keep
How many
interrupting
people
every
are
song.
in that band?
There are, I guess there's six members.
Bring 6 spoons.
Doing 6 spoons. Yeah, we're all
Guys just
We're all
constantly pitching
peas
off
in
the
a pod and
stage.
terrible
Yeah,
people.
There's not enough
Throw
Pokemon to
tomatoes
go
in
around.
Yeah.
spoons.
Right. And so, yeah, and just freelancing and in music and some education stuff. And, I'm not a teacher.
yeah,
I'm Pokemon Head.
yeah.
Anyway,
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to try to maybe sort of get on the rails here for just a minute.
Okay.
Because it is still Gaming Without Parole.
Yeah. That was honestly more about gaming than most of the shit that we talk about. So I think that's yeah.
Fantastic. So Mike, for the people who don't know, what do we do here on Gaming Without Parole?
We serve as a cautionary example for how not to make YouTube and podcast content. Just whatever you see us do, be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, and you'll probably be okay.
Yeah, that's an excellent summation.
You'll get more views.
Yeah,
if you don't do.
Yeah.
Right.
Just keep your distance. We're just.
But we're fucking stubborn.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, so we're just gonna keep going the way we've been going and picking up one viewer a month.
just like the Tea Party.
Right, yeah.
Excellent. I actually feel, though, as though we will have more success than the Tea Party.
Yeah, I think so.
Eventually. We'll come out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, Mike, just let's get everyone caught up to date. What have you been playing for the last week?
Okay.
Didn't mean to point at you.
Sorry. I've mostly been playing Fantasy Life. Yeah, Jovi's all excited, which is great. It's a fun little it's a great little time killing game. I think it got kind of mixed reviews, which I think Jeremy Parrish did a great piece on it on US Gamer, where he said people didn't really understand what this game was about.
Yeah,
because it's not you can just burn through the story pretty fast and then you'll just be done and that's it, and it's pretty insubstantial. But the whole point of the game is basically existing in this little fantasy world. You go out, you don't want to just go running around killing everything and buying new equipment. The point is you go out and you mine your own minerals, and then you turn them into materials, then you make your own weapons, and then you use that to go out. And you get hurt, so you brew your own healing and you just kind of rotate through these different career. Yeah, cook your own food, and you can take on. It's a really cool concept, and one that I've always thought more job system games should explore, which is that why do all of the jobs have to be combat focused? Everything's wizard or fighter or paladin or ranger. Why couldn't you have a guy take a job as a blacksmith, and he can make equipment for you, so that saves money. He can't really fight, but you can make equipment. Or you said
retail shop employee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a guy merchant. Yeah, you have you have a guy be a merchant, and he goes out to other towns.
Fuck
and
me for trying to be funny.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
That's cool. Cool. Now wait. So do you have you guys have talked about this not at length, but enough for me to. I thought I had the concept down. Can you have a stable of characters you can switch between, or do you every time you want to do something different, do you have to sell off all your attributes and regain stuff?
No, it's you have one guy who can rotate between the careers, and it takes a little while to get each career off the ground, but then once that happens, you can switch. There's a building that you can go to where you can switch your character's job class, and you keep most of your attributes. You'll get certain job bonuses when you have that, when you're equipped with that life or job or whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, your attributes remain consistent between characters. So once you know how to mine and lumberjack and things, you can make your guy back into a fighter and then just use him to go cut down trees and things.
Yeah, action RPG.
Yeah, and it's fun, and I've been supplementing that. I feel like I've got a really good balance right now because I've been playing Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Mm-hmm. How far are you into that?
Well, I'm playing the Xbox 360 version, so I'm probably about halfway through the second disc.
How many discs are there?
There's 4. So
whoa.
Yeah, what? It's a lot of DVDs. It's a big.
Wow,
takes up a lot of space.
I guess I didn't think about that because we've been talking about all these games that are coming out for the last gen consoles and current gen. Yeah, the new games are huge.
They're huge.
But it's not a game that I would have expected would take up that much space.
Well, 4 DVDs.
Yeah, well, I think what they did, I think they've really optimized it so that there's not a lot of loading time. The frame rate is always very smooth. So I think there's not a lot of content on each disc.
Almost the complete game on each disc.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think they've optimized it so it runs real smooth like that. But it's great because that's a game that's very intense and like you can kind of wear yourself out playing it because you're always just like constantly moving forward. Like the fighting is really intense, and then I can kind of step back and do Fantasy Life for a while and just kind of like chill.
What's your impression of Wolfenstein so far?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a fun game. I mean, I often feel like when games have such critical acclaim, they kind of there's no way to go into them without getting disappointed a little bit.
But I think this is a game that we expected to be disappointing.
Yeah,
and then turned out not to be at all.
And also kudos for having like a kind of healthy, non-exploitive sex scene in the game.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It just kind of happens, and it's like it happens naturally, and then it like moves on, and it's not like pornographic or like.
I mean, it borders. He really gives it to her.
Yeah,
I was rooting for him.
Yeah,
I was going to say just kill her.
Yeah,
it's like that's not going to.
No. Yeah, we probably shouldn't.
So it's like those sex scenes in the movies where you just see them go under the covers and then like it's morning. Where it's
it's a little bit more than that.
It's a little.
It sort of fades in and out, right?
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a little.
And it gets a little more graphic each time.
So it is like okay.
Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Like
it wasn't too bad. I mean, like you definitely know what's going on, and it's like, but it didn't feel. I feel like the standard game sex scenes tend to be like God of War, where it's like tap this button to just wail on these 3 prostitutes, and like, or like, or even something like Mass Effect, where it wasn't like particularly graphic, but it did feel kind of, I don't know, like what you'd see in a cheap cable movie, like kind of sleazy.
I like the God of War ones because they do turn into a mini game.
They're absurd.
Yeah, and they're like, now turn the right analog stick this much, and then turn the left one this much, and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing like sexual moves.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't have any moves, so I'm assuming this is what they're like.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I don't know.
If I had game, yeah.
if
I knew what I was doing.
I'm not playing games. I haven't played games for many years, so there's sex scenes in games.
Sex mini games, yeah.
Yeah. But then it wasn't there like Custer's Revenge
on the Atari 2600 or something.
Yeah, I mean that stuff's always been there. Even on the NES, they had unlicensed games that were like pornographic Tetris, like as you complete the pieces. Yeah,
in Strip Fighter on TurboGrafx, and I mean even the Leisure Suit Larry for something a little more mainstream. Yeah, and there was a shit ton of those games. Right?
Yeah. But this was the first time that I felt like, oh, this is kind of how you would have that type of scene in a not like really graphic film. It's there, and it's you know what's going on. It's not like they're censoring things really, and then they just kind of it is what it is, and it moves on, and it just feels like a part of these characters' existence. And
I honestly think just to add to what you're saying, the Wolfenstein does a good job of limiting the amount of cutscenes. Like it's just enough to make you care about the characters, but then they know that you just want to get back into the game, and they let you do that, which is refreshing. Yeah. All right, that's all you've been playing?
Yep, pretty much just those two. And Record Keeper.
What's your favorite life in Fantasy Life?
Paladin. It's the lazy guy answer.
What's your favorite?
Me, Wizard.
Wizard.
It's also kind of a lazy guy answer.
Yeah. There's no Pokemon trainer option?
If there was, I'd be all over that.
Right. All right. It is... no, wrong company. Shit. I've been playing Crystalis. I'm done with Crystalis on the original Nintendo. Yeah, it is. It starts off and it is so much fun. It is the exact game I want to play on Nintendo. It's an action RPG. You run around. Your experience points are literally plastered right there on the bottom of the screen. You know how many more points you have to get to for your next level. So you're constantly like grinding for fun because you're like, I just want to get to the next level before I go to the next dungeon.
Yeah, it's quick to it. Like levels don't take too long.
Not too long. You do max out too early, I think. Like I wish there was more levels because I don't know. Some of the later dungeons were not fun because they were a little difficult. But the first 2 or 3 hours of this game is awesome. I'm like, this is everything I want out of an action RPG on an 8-bit system. And then shit just gets messy. the dungeons become labyrinths.
Yeah.
Every character, every enemy you encounter requires a different weapon, so you got to go into your menu and switch them out, and it happens multiple times, like within seconds. And everything, you said it just becomes a slog.
Yeah.
And it turned in from a game that I absolutely loved to a game I fucking despised. Around hour 4. This was not a short game.
Yeah.
Not as short as I thought it would be. I looked online, they said, 8 to 10 hours. I was like, that's not bad. I think it took me about 16 hours to beat, and the last 12 of those hours were not fun at all.
Did you have a walkthrough for
so that was the other part. Halfway through the game, it becomes impossible to play without a walkthrough.
Yeah.
You end up having to find items that they didn't really tell you where they are, so you have to go to every single square on the world map or each location map, and until you run into it, you don't see it anywhere. It's hidden, and without a guide, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So from about the halfway point on, I was using a guide, and I got to say, if I had somebody sitting on, this is the only way to play this game. If you're determined to play Crystalis, because it's considered kind of a classic at this point, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I think those people who consider it that have only played the first 3 hours, and rightfully so, give up after the first 3 hours. It's not fun after that. But if you're determined to do it, play it with like the Retron 5 is awesome because it's got save states, so you don't have to worry about saving your game. You can save every 30 seconds. Because you will have to play those 30 seconds over again many times. Also, have somebody sitting on the couch next to you with a walkthrough, reading to you, turn left here, go up here, go right here, get that key. Like, because
pay someone for that.
Yeah.
maybe. So, because I was like, pausing the game, looking at my phone, unpausing, going back, looking at the phone. It was just non-stop back and forth, like just to get through 10 seconds of the game.
Wow.
It took me like, a minute. So, and I still got lost many times because I lost my place or it wasn't described correctly in the walkthrough, and that just got extremely frustrating. I was losing my mind playing this game, and I never want to play it again. It's going to be a very angry episode of Backlog. Yes.
I feel with Chrysalis, the biggest issue was that there wasn't a sequel that they had the opportunity to fix all of that with, because it was still a fairly early NES game. You could do a lot with that, and like you said, they had the right ideas. It's just suddenly it was like they got to the end and they're like, how do we make this harder because they're near the end? Well, let's make the dungeons hundreds of samey looking corridors and just random enemies that are really hard.
Yeah, it really wasn't fun. If it was a 5-hour game, I probably would have loved it. But and I want to be like, what have you been playing? But you haven't been playing. So what have you been up to? What's your what is your recreational time involved these days? Is it mostly band related?
There's band related stuff.
Furious masturbation.
Beyond furious beats.
Yeah.
Masturbation beats. That's about it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean,
stick
to
what you know.
Mike's tried making a wackogram video at Mike's place.
With my old person stair chair.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you told?
Oh, he's been over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mike has a what are they called?
Oh gosh,
They're
I just call them stair chair. It's the stair chair, but it's like a stair lift. Yeah, for an elderly person that has a hard time navigating chairs. The previous owner of my home was a 96-year-old woman, and so she had one of those chair lifts. So we've pretty much, outside of one instance of an older relative, it's pretty much only been used for drunken hilarity.
And why not?
Yeah,
And you said you tried to make a video. Did it not work out?
We were sort of running out of time.
Yeah,
we did
we
this
kind of in a hurry.
after party at Holy Cross last night, and I had about 3 seconds left that I could video footage that I could have taken, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't have like I showed you with my ice bucket challenge. Every frame had to be super hilarious in order for me to move on, and I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but maybe later on today we'll go back and make it.
Yeah, we'll get it done.
Yeah.
I can only assume it'll be awesome. I mean, just looking at it, it's hilarious. It's one of those things that your immediate impression when you walk into your house, you're like, why didn't you take this out? And then your immediate thought after that is, why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent, guys. I want to blast through the news stories of the week. I want your input as a sort of fringe gamer on the outskirts looking in, if you got any, I want to know because a lot of times I talk to people who've watched this podcast and they're not gamers.
Okay.
Which, like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Because you ask them every week and they've started to feel ashamed. Like they have to just not be a dick. It's true.
So I would like opinions from the what's the last video game system you played?
Oh man, PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you like pretty into that, like, or was that like we were waning at that point?
We played a lot of Xbox games in college.
FF10s on PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I played, what was that, it was like this like heavy metal, like, race car, you know,
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, yeah. I remember playing like Twisted Metal and like Crash Bandicoot, and I mean, yeah, I was sort of like,
right on.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal was great.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal Black was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And then after that, it just kind of nosedived.
Yeah.
Nose-dove. Grammar without parole.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. We're going to blast through most of these because I just want to list the news, maybe get some impressions, but for the most part, we just want to keep it current. Bandai Namco just announced. They announced earlier, but we finally saw some footage from it. Their Wii U game. It's free to play, and it's called Project Treasure. It's codenamed Project Treasure, and it looks a bit like squad based. You're running through looks like pyramids of some sort, some caverns, and you're beating shit up, and it's free to play, and it's on the Wii U. What the fuck is going on? Do you think this is Namco's way of being like, well, no one's buying anything for Wii U, maybe they'll just play it for free?
Yeah, I wonder if it's interesting because when you think free to play, you're
we're going to get electrocuted.
Excellent.
Like, I haven't achieved my dream yet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh no!
Thanks,
There, now you can take him back.
Now he's got like a wet crotch.
Well, that was there before. I'm sorry. He did sleep with me last night.
that peas.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
It's interesting because free to play, you usually think like cell phone games,
right.
Stuff that they
PC.
nickel and dime, the occasional like free PC MMO.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that, and it's usually not a good thing either.
No.
Free to play doesn't have the best reputation.
I'm assuming that if it's free to play, there's a bunch of ads.
Ads or like extra shit that you have to buy to play it normally.
Yeah. And to get the free game, you gotta probably sign up, maybe some email involved. I
have no idea.
Yeah, usually
to get information out of you.
Yeah, usually you can just play it, but then they put in a lot of roadblocks to the experience being smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joby was just saying, they might limit your time, and like you can either wait or you can buy more time, or like they'll make it really hard to get items that you need or something like that.
So Namco sales have not been good. Or
they're better than
they were okay.
Yeah,
they're doing better than say Konami,
right?
Who has just basically announced they're getting out of console business altogether. But I think the more surprising part of it isn't that Bandai Namco is making it; it's that it's on the Wii U, which is definitely, pretty much considered a failure at this point. It's been out for 2 years, and just ridiculously low sales figures. So if it was on PS4 and Xbox One, it'd be like, well, there's a huge install base there, so you have the opportunity to make some money.
Yeah.
It just seems like a weird choice at this point. That's all.
Well, who knows if they're going to port things later, It's
and I'm sure it's easier to port from Wii U to these systems.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, this week, all of the big companies announced when their E3 press conferences are going to be. I took the day off from work.
But if we're talking about taking the day off from work, do we also need to talk about amiibos?
You didn't take the day off from work.
Exactly.
I ended up taking the day off from work. Here's our amiibo story.
Yeah, this is awful.
Do you know what amiibos are?
They're not amiibos, like the little science fuckers.
You see all those toys that are like in box still against my wall? They're all Nintendo characters. Yeah. So amiibos are just Nintendo toys that have become a ridiculous success. They are super collectible. They're hard to find. As soon as the new ones come out, they are just just extinct everywhere. Just really hard to find. And then immediately they become really expensive. So Wave 4 of the Amiibo is probably the most popular wave so far.
Yeah.
Just came out on Friday, the 29th.
And a little bit of background:
Please.
when the pre-orders went up for Amiibos, Wave 4 of Amiibos at GameStop, they had people lined up like around the block before the store even opened for pre-orders, and it was so there was such a high volume that it knocked out GameStop's nationwide computer network for like a couple hours because there was just so many people pre-ordering these Amiibos.
So the new line, the toys are based on new Nintendo characters?
Some are new, some are old.
Some are
Like
old.
Pac-Man was actually in this wave, as was Wario. But then also Nintendo has a new game on the Wii U called Splatoon, and some of the characters from that had their own Amiibos as well. So it's all over the place.
So you said in the Wave 4 group, Pac-Man came out. Has there ever been a Pac-Man Amiibo? They're always new,
Amiibos themselves are pretty new. They've only it's really just been like
less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year.
Yeah. Can you buy them at Toys R Us?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
They're,
part
and
of
they're
our
actually
story.
they're like they're gimmick. Even though like we just were talking about. I mean, you never hear about this actually, but their gimmick is that they actually tie into the games. They have a little rewritable computer chip in them that you can wipe over an area on the Wii U gamepad, and it will.
And the 3DS now.
Oh yeah, the new 3DS, and it will either input game data like into your game. So like you use the Link one, and you can get like extra weapons in some games or something, or you can save data to the characters. Like you can train a character in Smash Brothers and then save him to your Amiibo. So if you bring him to like a friend's house, that character at that training level will show up in their game too. But nobody ever really talks about that aspect.
I think it doesn't get talked about because I think like probably 75% of the people buying these things do what I do and leave them in the box and put them up on a shelf on your wall, and then you don't want to decrease the value by taking them out and playing with them. Yeah, it's kind of moronic, but I think they're adorable, so I want them all. So the 29th they all come out. And the pre-orders at GameStop have been
gone forever.
Yeah,
They're
demolished.
gone immediately.
And there's an exclusive one at GameStop that was Ness from Earthbound. There was an exclusive one at Target, which was Jigglypuff from Pokemon. That's right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, he's smiling behind the camera. Of course,
Pokemon camera.
Right.
Jiggy.
And so to get them all, it's like you're totally boxed.
Greninja was an exclusive too. Greninja, he was a Toys R Us exclusive.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because that one got expensive fast.
Yeah.
I got the last one when I got
You
there.
did? Oh, nice. Yeah.
Now, I started my day at I was at the Walmart at the door at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And as our viewers probably know this by this point, but Brian is not.
Tell me the story.
Brian is not a morning person.
I'm not an afternoon.
Yeah,
person.
6 a.m. is not even like early for Brian. It's like he
Bedtime.
didn't go to bed.
Yeah. I had successfully gone to bed at 4 to 4:30 and woke up at 5:30. I was not a happy person. And I was less happy when I walk into Walmart and find only their old stock of Amiibos. It was just the stuff I had seen the week before. Nothing new. Zero. And I thought I was the first person there. I walked in like there weren't even employees yet. I was like, what's going on?
It was just the homeless people that live in the Walmart, like taking down their shanty towns for the night.
There wasn't even... There should be a game based around that.
There was a guy wrote a fairly lengthy article about living in
Just trying to be funny. There was a King of the Hill episode about this.
There was a guy that stayed in a 24-hour Walmart for like a month or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they aware of this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but like he just kind of kept moving, and and it broke him as a person.
Those fluorescent lights alone will do that.
Yeah, it's really unhealthy for you.
Yeah. So I find some sales guys, and I ask them like, "Where's the new line of Amiibos?" And they're like, "We are totally sold out." What? And he even shows me his
6
little.
in the morning.
Yeah. And he said, "Well, there were some people here last night at midnight waiting for the shipment to be put out, and we actually allowed them to buy them." At like 12:01, I was like, "But you guys were closed." I'm like, "I would have been here." Like that seems totally like bullshit. You know, so
it's like when you see those aid trucks to like war oppressed third world countries, and
How
they
is
come
it
up
like-
when they come up with the food trucks and they're giving it, everyone's just like swarming it. There's amiibos. Ah!
So, and of course, Walmart didn't have the standards or the limitations in place that Toys R Us and I'm sure other places
Poor
did.
business practices at Walmart. I can't believe it.
So they were sold out basically before they opened, and he even showed me his little handheld computer screen where they have the inventory for all the Walmarts, and literally every single amiibo was just sold out from every single Walmart store in the
fucking
in the state.
crazy.
And this was at 6:00 in the morning.
Wow.
So my next stop was Target, because Target had the exclusive Jigglypuff, and I was like, well, at least I'll be the first one in line there.
Yeah.
And at 6:15, 6:20 in the morning, there was already 20 people in line at Target. And knowing how limited stock there were for amiibos, I was like, half of these people aren't even going to get theirs. So why am I going to stand in line for an hour and a half? I'm going to go home and go to bed. I did. I went home, I went to bed, and then around 12:30, I think, you sent me a text, and you were like, I'm at Toys R Us in Northborough.
Yep.
And and they have some, but they're only letting me buy one of each character. So if you want them, you better get out here. And I had to be at work in like an hour and a half. So I was like, that's just enough time for me to drive out there, drive back, and then take a quick shower and go to work, which is exactly what I did. And I managed to get 4, I think, there. And then later that night, just to drive me insane, Amazon had announced that they were going to start. They had a very limited stock as well, and they're going to sell them. Each character is going to have their own half-hour time slot where they're going to get sold. Limit 1 per customer.
And it wasn't even just half hour, so it wasn't like, okay, 8:30, this guy goes up, here you go. It was randomly, at random points throughout... Poor Totoro. At random
Crotch
points,
wet, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
within that
enjoy
half
it.
hour, they would, like, put them live.
Oh, well, yeah, I was confused as to what was
Yeah.
going on. So here's what happened. I'm at work, right? I'm on my phone. And we're super dead at work. Like, there's nothing to do, luckily. So Charizard comes up. He's the first one for sale. And I'm sitting there on my phone. Everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. And I kept refreshing and searching
Yeah.
over and searching over. And I finally found one, and I grabbed it. And I was like, oh, my God. And then and after I bought it, I looked again, and they weren't there. I was like, holy crap. I'm like, I think I got the millisecond
Yeah.
that I was able to buy it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder how hard this is going to be for the rest of the line. And also, I'm waiting on tables. Like, how hard is it going to be?
You're like standing there at a table, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd like to order that." You're like, "Whoa!
Right.
Hold on, guys, I got to do this." And they're like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" He's like, "Hey, I'm buying amiibos," and they're like, "Amiibos!" And they all whip out their phones and start like, "Oh shit,
No, not competition.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw the rest of my night going in a very, very dark place. And we were so not busy. It was a beautiful day. People were not going out to eat. And my manager was like, you seem pretty busy. Do you want to go home? And I was like, yes, I do. So I came home, and I had a couple windows up on my computer screen, refreshing constantly. I had my phone out, and I was nonstop trying to get these things. Every half hour, I had an alarm set. It was crazy. And there were still 2 that I didn't manage to get. I didn't get Lucina or Robin.
Yeah, the Fire Emblem ones, which are the ones that are going to be like
It's
wicked
super
expensive.
I don't even care about Lucina. I just wanted Robin. But I've given up hope on that. So, it was an expensive day for sure.
There's nothing left to live for.
So I don't know. Earlier in the day. The funny thing about this was that I had sent you a text and said this is crazy. I'm home in bed, 0 amiibos in hand. Like I did. It was a very unsuccessful morning, and you seemed a bit agitated.
Yeah.
You're like this is bullshit. Like how collecting toys shouldn't be, or buying
It
toys
shouldn't
from
be like a
company.
second job.
Right, it shouldn't be this stressful. And if a company wants my money, they're going to have to make it easier. And I was like, I totally agree, but I just bought a couple off of Amazon, and they ended up getting all my money anyway. So I was like, I wonder what it's going to take for me to just not care about these things anymore.
Other fulfilling life activities.
I don't know, not going to happen. This is it. So I guess I'm hooked. And I'm very unhappy about it.
I want to go back to some of the earlier episodes
Gaming without parole.
where you're
Yeah,
just
Parole.
where you're just like, I'm done with amiibos. I've had it. It's like a bad partner, you know, like I'm done. I'm never gonna see him or her again. Like I've had it with them, and then like 2 days later, you see the couple like out on a date, like the movies, like all arm in arm.
I've said that about God of War, for sure. I'm done with God of War until I'm sure they release God of War 4.
Yeah.
I hate God of War. Said it about a bunch of things, actually. Crystallis, I'm never playing again. Yeah. All right, moving on, guys. This is good. The music for this game should be amazing. Bloodstained. Have you guys talked about this at all?
That's the new. It's the new not Castlevania. The guy that was in Koji Igarashi, who made. He was really involved with Symphony of the Night and made like most of the Castlevanias after that. He left Konami and now he's basically like making a new Castlevania, but he's not calling it Castlevania.
It's called Bloodstained.
So that's probably pretty.
Highly anticipated.
Yeah, it's he launched a Kickstarter to raise money to help to get.
He's doing it totally independently.
No, he's going to get a publisher, but he needs like money to like get buy-in from the publishers or something. And he needed $500,000 to like fund this. They got $800,000 in like 4 hours. And it was like a month-long Kickstarter, which reminds me, I got to eventually contribute to that.
They added a couple stretch goals.
Oh, really?
And that's for the Wii U and for the Vita. That would be so great to have this game.
That would be
Vita.
Amazing. Yeah, I would be so excited.
And I guarantee they're going to make these goals because this game is. I mean, everybody wants it.
Bloodstained. Oh man.
Yeah.
You probably don't know the composer of that yet. Right?
It's Michiru Yamane, the old Castlevania composer, the woman who did all the good Castlevania.
So, wow.
I think
the
that's
one
her
from
name.
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, she did Symphony of the Night and like a lot of the other stuff. Yeah.
It's funny the composer of the first Castlevania. She lives in New Jersey.
Really?
She's Japanese.
Okay.
And I tried to get her to come to my friend's bachelor party. He's a big Castlevania fan, and I think we offered her like $1,000 just to come and like play like for 20 minutes, like play some stuff and like.
Did you get a response even?
No, yeah, she responded. She was like, "Well, because like $1,000 for 20 minutes or something."
Yeah, but inviting a girl you don't know to a bachelor party,
right? Well,
it's like
it does.
Yeah, well, she had like a male lover at the time, and she said, "Can I bring my boyfriend?" And we were like, "Yeah, whatever."
Of course, right? We're not going to feed him though.
But
he has to wait in the car, the window cracked with the window cracked, like a dog.
But we ended up getting. Do you know a band called Dream Theater?
Of course.
We ended up getting the original vocalist of Dream Theater to come, and so we said,
"Just as good."
Screw you, Castlevania 1 composer.
Okay.
So,
New Jersey, huh?
She lives in New Jersey.
I'm not going to make fun of New Jersey. I won't.
Yeah, it's kind of low hanging. Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the Worcester.
I think you're listen.
Shit.
I think you kind of nailed it. To be honest, I can't talk trash about New Jersey without talking trash about ourselves. It's only fair. Yeah. Next up. Do you guys remember Chibi Robo?
No.
Okay. You remember Chibi Robo?
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember Chibi Robo.
Yeah.
Charge a robot up.
Charge a robot up.
Yeah, he's a little.
He was a DS
little
game,
robot
GameCube
game. Yeah, you got to plug in. Yeah.
It was. Very mixed reactions. It wasn't the greatest thing, but Nintendo did announce that there's a new game. They didn't announce what platform it was for. I was searching for that info and I couldn't find it. I'm assuming the 3DS. I can't imagine they're going to make a Chibi Robo Wii U game, but if they do, that's awesome. And it's going to come on release day. They're also going to sell a Chibi Robot amiibo, which is the only reason I care. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so these news stories have a huge slant. I skip things I don't care about, and I focus on things that I do.
Sure.
So people who watch this are only getting a portion of the news, and it's the part that I care about.
And it's all stuff that we're taking from other sites too, so it's not.
Absolutely.
It's
I've
not
done
like
no reporting.
Yeah.
I'm just copying and pasting. And at least I wrote them down with my own pen this week instead of taking screenshots from other websites.
Sure.
We got to complain about that, so I was like, "Fuck." So there's this. Do you remember Silent Hill?
Yes.
Okay, scary Konami game.
I saw the movie.
Okay.
One of the movies.
Based on a scary Konami game
Right,
from
right,
PlayStation 1.
Sure.
And, of course, a couple sequels on PS2. So there was basically a reboot going on.
Oh, they stopped it.
They stopped it.
So I know. Look,
There you go. Nice.
It looks horrifying. I
Yeah.
saw my friend was showing me some stuff.
I played the demo, and it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever played. And it was amazing. Now, they basically trashed it and said, well, this is not going to happen, and for various reasons. But there was a rumor earlier this week that Microsoft had offered to buy Silent Hills, the franchise and the game, from Konami. They're like, we'll take the apparently 80% done build, and we'll finish it.
Wow.
And offered, the rumor is, billions of dollars for this franchise.
Whoa.
Billions. And of course, I mean, they just bought Mojang for a couple billion,
yeah,
right?
it's like 10 billion or something.
Yeah, so I mean, so this doesn't seem unlikely. Microsoft's like, well, we need more game studios, and this is something people care about, so why not, right? Make it Xbox One exclusive. One of the companies, I can't remember who, has now denied that rumor. But honestly, I think I'm pretty vocal PlayStation fanboy. I love my PlayStation products, and I love my Xbox One, but it hasn't done anything for me that I really, really want. This right here, I mean, to save the product, to save the game, because otherwise it's just going to be, just gone forever. This would make me turn on my Xbox One. This would make me finally love a game on that system, and I wish it was true, because I don't care what system it comes out on. This is a game I want to play probably more than any other game, except for The Last Guardian. What the fuck? Where the fuck is The Last Guardian? I'm mad now.
Podcast
Wow,
over.
I thought like Joby was doing something wrong.
Joby, what did you do with The Last Guardian?
Shit together, Joby!
Where did you put it?
I don't even know what I did with the first one.
Awesome. All right. Skip that one. Sony wants to reach casual gamers with the PS4.
Put Pokemon on PS4.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day we'll see that, depending on how the new
Some
Nintendo
Skyrim
consoles
graphics.
do.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no real information, except there was a quote from one of the Sony guys, and they're like, we want to reach a more casual audience, which I thought they tried to do with the Move controllers on the PS3. Like Wii's Jesus Christ, Wii's a casual game, right? And Wii's a casual system.
Yeah.
And they were trying to make anyway. Why would they want to do this? They want a bigger fan base.
Yeah.
But what the fuck? They said over and over, especially the last couple of E3s, that their focus is on real core gamers. And now this is a mixed message.
Companies being inconsistent and unreliable? I can't believe it.
Yeah, but Sony, we thought that Sony had learned their lesson.
Well, but yeah, now that they're taking a commanding lead again, it's the same bullshit. I mean,
they're not a different company.
No.
What do you think they're going to do to attract a casual audience?
I mean, probably the same crap that they and Microsoft did during the previous generations.
The
Just
Move
make
and
it,
Connect.
make a few like shitty kind of half implemented things.
I actually think there's a game that the release date just got announced. It's a game called Until Dawn, and it's coming out August 25th. That's the news.
Until dawn or until dawn?
Dawn.
Okay.
Right, from dusk till dawn.
Right.
But until
Dawn
dawn.
of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead.
Dead by Dawn.
Not that one.
From Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
There you go. This game...
Okay.
No. This game seems like the game they might be talking about. It was originally a PlayStation 3 game. It's kind of like playing a horror movie, but you take the role of like one of the victims. And the better you play, maybe your characters won't die, but they can all die, and the game will continue. And you just kind of, I guess, just jump from character to character as they get slaughtered. You make these critical decisions at critical times. It is sort of Move compatible. There's like the light bar sensor in front of the PlayStation 4 controller where you kind of aim and you tell the game what decision you want to make. And it's previewing really well, and people seem really into this game for how casual it seems. And I sort of think that's where they're going with this. If Until Dawn does well, I think we're going to see more of these kind of games. I'd be like, well, you don't have to be an amazing video game player to play these. You just have to like make some decisions here and there.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Yeah. Did you ever play Yoshi's Island?
Yes, I love Yoshi's Island.
Such a great game, right?
Did they make two of them?
They've made
few.
several now. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
only played the first one. Yeah.
There's Yoshi's Island,
Really
Yoshi's Storybook,
Story.
Yoshi's Story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 64. Joby loves that
Yoshi's
game.
Island 2, and then
Oh, wait, what was Yoshi's Island 2?
It was the DS game, wasn't
That
it?
was 2.
I think that
it was just
2.
Yoshi's Island DS, I think.
Okay, Yoshi's Island DS, and then there's Yoshi's Island or New Yoshi.
The Yoshi's New Island
Yeah.
on 3DS,
Yeah.
which did not get good reviews.
Yeah.
And now there's Yoshi's Woolly World, which is coming to
What
Wii U.
world?
Woolly World.
Woolly.
In terms
Yeah.
of like what?
It's like
wool.
Woolly
felt,
mammoth.
yeah.
Woolly mammoth.
No, like wool,
Wool.
as in,
Wool.
like what makes up a sweater.
Okay,
Sheep.
a woolly world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheep. Thank you.
Those
Um,
guys.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, the whole world is made out of
Yeah.
yarn, basically. And
Which
that
they
would be
kind
Kirby's
of did,
epic yarn.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's but regardless of the yarn or the wool part of it, it looks like a great follow up to Yoshi's Island, and it's previewing much better than like Yoshi's New Island and stuff. It got a release date. It's coming out September this year, which is phenomenal. It's
Cool.
coming really soon.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a lot from it,
Yeah.
which is surprising. We're like just a couple months, we're gonna have a brand new Yoshi game, which
Wow.
is exciting. There's a lot of good stuff coming for
Yeah.
Wii U. I don't think it's gonna push console sales, but
For those of us that already own one, hey, why not?
yeah, really, might as well. I finally ordered Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh yeah,
I figured that's one of those games that if I don't just get now, it's just I'm never gonna
you
get
got your
it.
Toad amiibo. Can use them together.
No, I can't. I can't take it out of the package. I'll have to buy another one just to take out and play with.
Like Mario Toad amiibo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It's kind of a puzzle platformer
Wow.
with no jump button.
Now, how many amiibos are there? Like, how many characters do they have?
It's gonna end up being like the whole Smash Brothers cast plus another round of Mario ones plus the Splatoon ones so far. I think is what it's at.
They did announce some new ones for Japan. There's like Dr. Mario and some other ones.
wow.
Yeah.
There's Zelda in there too? Oh,
There's Zelda
Yeah, oh,
characters
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Mega Man.
There's Ganondorf. That's the Japanese one looks very cool.
What about the main end boss of Super Mario 2?
Wart.
Wart?
That would-
Yeah, we haven't seen a Wart.
No,
one
we
yet.
haven't seen
Yeah,
anything
that'd be
from
awesome.
Wart in a long time.
Yeah, then I'll start buying. Then I'll start
Yeah.
buying into it.
There you go.
But that wasn't in Japan. That wasn't Mario, too,
Right.
right?
No,
Yeah.
it did get re-released though in
Right,
Japan.
right.
Super Mario USA, is that right?
Oh, is that
And it's not. The weird thing is, it wasn't even. This is. I mean, that's. I feel like that's classic gamer knowledge that
Yeah.
Mario 2 isn't really Mario. But
Right.
the weird thing that I didn't even know until a few years ago is that it wasn't even like it was just some random Nintendo game. It was actually a licensed game based off of a Japanese TV station that had like little Arabian people as their mascots for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So I went on that tangent.
No, it's okay. I'm
Joey
actually
slipped-
because we never-
Joey slipped me a paper and we
Yeah.
said, talk about Super Mario 2.
Yeah.
Talking about King Toad. Was King Wart.
King Wart. Yeah.
I want to
Believe
know.
me, Tony. You're fucking up my podcast.
Sorry. It's his podcast.
It is really my podcast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Which explains so much.
It really does.
You know what's funny about that game? Whatever it was called initially.
Doki Doki Panic.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I want to know how much tweaking Nintendo did to it to make it a Super Mario Brother game. I want to know if the control got tightened up. I mean, other than like swapping out the characters, I wonder how much work got put into it to release it over here.
I don't know.
I like
Guess
to
you
play-
could
I
play
like to
the
play
other
the
ROM.
original.
Yeah, you could play
Yeah.
a ROM, I'm sure.
I could buy reproduction.
Yeah. Yeah, for like $50.
No. $28.
Okay.
Thank you, OCD Reproductions. .com. Plug. All right. This is a great story. Nintendo Wii. I didn't know anyone still played their Wii. There is a gentleman.
sounds dirty.
There is a gentleman though that was watching Netflix on his Wii.
I used to do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For the non-HD crowd, I
Yeah.
guess that was a popular choice. So this is a recent story though, and he burned down his house with his Wii. He said that he turned off his Wii when he was done using it. He said though that there was no warning that he needed to unplug the console when he was done using it, he just said, "I thought powering it off was enough." Burned down his house, which the news story fails to describe as an RV, actually. so house might be a bit of a misnomer.
Right. I imagine a 2-story, like...
Yeah, no, it's just basically a kitchen with a bed. On wheels.
Yeah.
And so the funny part is I thought it was just going to be this guy being like, my Wii burned my house down, but I had a meth lab in the back.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Investigators said it's 99% probable that it was the Wii, and not even wiring coming to and from the Wii. It was the Wii itself, the console, that started the fire. 99% sure.
That's a little troubling.
It's not so troubling.
That many cases,
it's not so troubling. What are there, 40 million Wiis out in the world?
Right.
This is the only time we've ever heard about
that
this.
We know of. What about it's a big N cover up? There's just people dropping
the ISIS Wii.
Yeah, the ISIS Wii. There's just people being condemned to a fiery death worldwide because of Nintendo, but they just pay people off.
It's like the Fight Club conspiracy theory of recalling cars.
Yeah,
Ninterrorists.
Oh man, perfect.
Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
You can't do this on Nintendo.
Great commercial.
Yeah. I want to do a whack-gram of that.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. Yes, I should.
Yep. Right here. No. Unless you're doing it next hour, then...
You should do you can't do this on Nintendo, and then cut to, like, somebody throwing a dummy off of, like, a bridge or something, so it looks like you're jumping off. Like,
it should be houses on fire.
Yeah, yes.
RV's on fire.
Yeah. In motion.
Yeah. All right.
That's so bizarre.
All right, guys, for the rest of this podcast, it's all yours. What do you want to talk about? I'm just going to take a nap.
Yeah, just chill. Here
Are you guys familiar with the virtual reality games that are going to...
Yeah, we've talked about some.
What is the name of it? I used the
Oculus Rift.
You have?
Yeah.
What was your impression?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have either of you tried it out? So my friend is kind of like I guess he's a marketer / developer for I don't know, for IBM or something, and he got his hands on an Oculus, and it hooks up with like the Galaxy Note 4.
Okay.
That's really?
Yeah, so you put the Galaxy Note 4 on the Oculus, and then it operates that way.
Interesting.
And he brought me and my friend into a bar, and so we had this like the Oculus on a bar, and like all these like people were coming up. They're like, "Can we try it?" And we were like, the hit of the bar.
Yeah.
But
you're like hitting on women with this thing on your face. You're like, "Hey, baby."
Yeah, you can try it.
There's nobody there because you can't see.
Yeah, but he called my friend and I in because we might have opportunities to actually write some music for some of the future games. So
that's pretty awesome.
I'll get my chance.
Yeah. The one thing that when I was brainstorming what we could talk about in this podcast, I was thinking about how nowadays so much of game music has shifted from kind of the old chip tunes, but even more than that, away from the kind of prog rock, heavy metal inspired stuff, to a more like orchestral, kind of ambient music. A lot of games don't really have, and not everything, but a large portion don't really have like a soundtrack that you really want to listen to outside of the game, because it's all, really situational based music. And I don't know if you've thought about that at all, or what.
I guess game music has kind of become almost like film music. It's very cinematic and. But I mean, you mentioned the game music that's based on like what's happening in the game.
Yeah,
right? So like,
it's like more ambient, more situational kind of music.
So like Zelda, right?
Yeah,
so
Zelda
based
does
on
that.
What's happening, the music will like kind of shift.
Yeah, like Shadow of the Colossus, that was a big one that used to do that. Like as the fight got more intense, like the music would pick up. If something happened and you like fell off and you were suddenly in a dangerous position, it would switch over to the more like intense, like oh no. And then like as you started to like the enemy's health got low and you were going to win, like it would rise up into the exciting and.
But I mean, all I know really about game music now is like for like a lot of the games that have like the big epic scores, like film composers are starting to move in, and so
now with virtual reality being something that you're more immersed in and you're seeing things differently, it's not just a TV in your face, it's very immersive,
right.
I wonder if the recording of music has to be done differently to sort of, because you don't want to think that the music is just coming from from the speakers.
Yeah.
You want to actually be immersed in the music as well. So I wonder how the recording of that's going to change.
I don't know.
Would you have to record things up close and far away just to have that?
I'm sure there's
effect on
multiple tracks.
Yeah.
Multiple tracks of recording.
Overlapping.
Absolutely, and then being able to switch in and out of them or fade in and out. So,
well, one of the things I experienced was with the Oculus was a concert. So I was basically front and center stage at like a Coldplay concert or a Paul McCartney concert.
Yeah, or a concert you'd go to.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I went to Paul McCartney. He's amazing.
You saw him?
I saw him at Fenway. He was great.
Now you could see him
right up close.
virtually.
Yeah, because when I saw him, he was like this big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'd be a lot closer.
Yeah.
He'd be virtually right there.
Some of the other games,
I'm done.
I saw another thing where I was flying over Dubai, so that was pretty neat. And I was on Mars. He was just playing different like simulations.
Yeah.
A little grainy, but like and you can look around. You can look behind you, and it's amazing. You're surrounded by this entire environment.
If you were wearing it long enough, do you feel like you could get pretty lost in there?
Yes, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
There was
I don't want to talk about other. He's playing me some other simulations.
This isn't. I'm not sure if you're aware, but last week we redubbed this podcast an Asian porn podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So if you'd like, you can talk about your Asian porn experiences in the Oculus.
Yeah,
Rift.
you guys could really compare notes.
Yeah.
Young.
No, there's actually a pretty good news story this week that came out that said I think it was one of the Oculus developers or somebody in the company said that the Oculus Rift headset and a high-end PC to run it properly should be running you about $1,500 total. Which means this thing is going to the Rift itself is only going to be about $250, anywhere between $200 and $300, because a high-end PC to run that $1,200 to $1,300 sounds about right. So that's really promising for this device, because I think that was the big question. It was like, well, it's going to take off if it's at the right price point, but if it's not, who the fuck set that kind of money, right?
Now, is this something that you'd be interested in?
Absolutely, because I like new stuff. Whether it's good or bad.
Right.
Yeah. Because Brian makes poor financial decisions.
I'm extremely reckless all the time.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're happy.
And Brett promised me last week there'd be Asian porn on it, so why wouldn't I get it? Yeah.
By the way, I'm 5% Polynesian.
Oh no! Camera's
and we're
off.
back.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Oculus Rift. Very exciting stuff.
I still like the idea of using it to prank people. Like, put it on Tony, like, while he's sleeping, and put on some, like, demons or something.
That's horrible.
I'm just like, oh, Tony, look out! And he wakes up. Ah!
You just like seeing me scream. Yeah. What, have you played some pranks on me in college?
Yeah.
Can we recall any of those?
Yeah, please do.
What have you done to me?
Oh, man.
Have you done anything to me in my sleep?
I don't think so. No.
No.
Well, that was sort of. We can't talk about that one on the air though, because that'll get somebody else in trouble.
Did you tell me this after it happened?
Yeah, you woke up in the middle of it. So.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Can you give me why can't we talk about it?
Because it's other people that I don't want to get in trouble.
But you just used different names.
It's going to be really obvious.
Is there any that we can talk about? You guys went to school for all 4 years together?
Yeah,
4 years,
yeah.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, it was mostly just like jumping out of places when you weren't expecting it. Like that's kind of your shtick, or like feeding into your paranoia. Like when you'd be eating and you'd get all indecisive about food, and I'd be like, oh my god, what if you died tonight and this was your last meal? What if it was terrible? And you'd be like, shut up.
Really?
Yeah.
I can barely remember.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common for a college experience.
Yeah. But we didn't drink. Mike and I didn't drink first 2 years.
Yeah.
And those are some of the better years when we didn't drink, actually.
Yup.
Because we were,
coherent.
Using our minds, our hearts.
We were being very imaginative
instead of our stomachs and
I remember sophomore year
vomiting.
I was using my liver.
Yeah.
So,
I can't use mine anymore. It quit.
He's gonna rent one from the U-Haul.
I remember sophomore year, Halloween, we came up with our own kind of weird costumes. Like one of we weren't drinking at the time. One of our friends he put like a Sprite box.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Soda on his head and wore a cape, and he was like sober man.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd had
you shaved half your beard.
I shaved half my beard. Wore like pajamas with like green lambs on them. Pulled them up to here. Had like my a white shirt over my head, sort of like Cornholio. Had a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man taped to my chest.
His bare exposed chest.
Yeah, okay. As well as a fake piece of cheese taped to my chest and a giant log on my shoulder. And my Halloween costume name was Ball Crotch Guillotine. And I was, and we were all in weird costumes like this and running around Holy Cross. And Holy Cross, it's not like it's not like Wesleyan or like a liberal school.
Yeah.
It's like sort of fairly conservative, I guess. And so people were like,
some of us just like changed, like dressed as each other.
Oh yeah, we dressed as each other. We were just this weird motley crew running around Holy Cross.
Well, because we didn't find out we were invited to that Halloween party until like 20 minutes beforehand.
Oh,
it was like costumes were mandatory.
So we threw together something, right?
Yeah,
been there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Guys,
good times.
I hate to say this, we are running low on time. But that was good. That was interesting.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to kind of summarize. Is there anything you want to like just verbally pimp right now in terms of Twitter, in terms of your any addresses that people can find you on, like URLs and stuff?
I don't know. Check out the bands Eden Song, The Left Bank, Newbeard, Waldman's Wackograms, One Piece 1 Million Fans,
One Piece pornography.
Yeah.
The Secret Site.
Down.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mike, just to remind people that this is a video game podcast.
Yes.
What are you going to be playing?
I'm probably going to finish those games that I was talking about earlier.
Okay, excellent. I have no fucking idea. Although
more NES games or more reproductions.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably going to be true. Though I did commit myself to creating a list of stuff that is like essential gaming, like Final Fantasy VI, Zelda, Ocarina, and Majora. And before this whole Danganronpa thing gets out of control, because
I know he's been playing it like
he blasted through one, and Joby's like partway through the second one at this point.
Yeah, they're pretty breezy.
Yeah, well, I need to breeze through them because I'm wicked far behind.
And you love seeing horrible things happen to children, so
I think what motivated but I think what motivated me to want to get into. I mean, to force myself to get into it now instead of waiting.
All of my terrible stories.
Actually, they sound like my kind of game.
Yeah.
But NIS, who I absolutely love, just sent me the email saying, you better pre-order your collector's edition of Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, because it's almost gone.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the better known franchises at this point. It's taken off pretty well.
What's the collector's edition clocking in at?
Oh, it's like $60, I think.
Wow.
But it's such a good deal because it's for $60, it's only $20 more than the actual game is going for, and you get. And you saw the other stuff, the Criminal Girls and the Firefly Diaries.
Yeah.
Those were pretty nice packages.
Yeah.
And those again, they were fairly cheap for collector's editions. So I'm very happy to give NIS more of my money.
Yeah.
Which I don't have.
And their customer service responds as a printy. So
they do respond as a printy, which is adorable. If anybody works at NIS, you're adorable. So I do need to play Danganronpa. I definitely want to blast through those games as soon as possible because Ultra Despair Girls is coming out, and then of course maybe later this year, hopefully later this year, we'll get Danganronpa 3. Who knows when that's coming?
Can't wait.
But that is the
so
rumor.
I can be sad again.
Can't wait. Are you going to play Ultra Despair Girls?
Probably. I might wait till reviews because it's weird, like an action game based on a visual novel that has.
It looks like
troubling
they're pumping
precedent.
it out there pretty fast.
Yeah, that has some troubling precedent, and it seems to be a little more fan servicey.
Yeah,
which is also weird because one of those characters, like the whole thing was how like gross she was in the first game. Like that was like the running thing was that she like didn't shower and like and now she's supposed to be this like hot chick. I don't know.
Interesting. So yeah, I guess we'll find out next week what games I really finally played that I should have played years ago. Awesome.
We should do like a David Letterman style countdown of like the top 10 games Brian should have played, and we can do that now because he retired, so he can't sue us anymore. I'm pretty sure that's how copyright works.
I don't think that's how.
You need to stop watching this podcast right now. It's brainwashing you. Deploy to steal your soul.
We should just cut off right there.
For Gaming Without Parole, my name's Brian Paul.
I'm Mike Zeller.
Oh, Tony Waldman.
And we'll see you next week.